This summer is going to be evil. So you have summer from hell for all the men that we're about to get back at, because we are ready to pop out, have fun, and make stupid decisions. But let's just quickly pour ourselves a glass, pour ourselves a drink, and get right into it. If you don't give men attention every single day and like fulfill their ego, they get sensitive and they get an urge to feel wanted. So they'll go find it elsewhere. At that point, I knew I was ghosted. Then I go on social media. He's seen with a new girl and she's like a total smoke show. Like she is a 10 out of 10 model. So at that point, I accept the defeat, keep drinking, and I keep talking. Names are gonna start coming out. We don't need names. I don't need any lawsuits. I already have one. Hello everybody and welcome back to Tall Blonde. Welcome back to Tall Blonde. Now we are doing things a little bit differently today. We are back to a solo episode. I've needed to do this because I've done so many guests, which is like amazing. But at the same time, I feel like you don't get to really know me. And I started this podcast because I want to talk more, yes, to other people, but also fill you in on my life. I make a lot of mistakes. I do a lot of dumb shit. I learn from my mistakes. I want to fill you in on all that. So it's time to just have fun with it. Sit back, have a drink. I brought my liquid courage. That is champagne today because I just got back from Tuscany and I am wined the fuck out. Like, it's honestly kind of gross now, even looking at a bottle of wine. Another funny story happened right after I got back from Italy, but I will explain that later. But let's just quickly pour ourselves a glass, pour ourselves a drink, and get right into it. It's funny because I already had a glass before I came here. So if I get drunk during this podcast, don't judge me. And Jason, don't judge me. And I don't have my little buddy here today. I don't have my support system. So I'm literally solo dolo in here today. But let's take it back. Let's take it back to when I moved here, when I started the podcast. I think I've been living here in Toronto for 7 months now. Still single, nothing's changed. I'm still doing the same shit, going out every weekend, meeting people drunk, half on their ass, and doing dumb shit. But I feel like I'm a different human. I also think a lot of people have changed over the winter times because, you don't go out as much. You don't do as much like meeting new people, whatever. So you're kind of like a homebody. And I think now that it's getting nicer out, I'm kind of like not wanting to go out as much, which is crazy. Like this weekend, I told my roommate, let's just stay in and not be hungover tomorrow. Like, let's just not go out this weekend. And that is psychotic to come out of my mouth because I don't remember the last time I've stayed in on the weekends. But I think that has come to be because I've done it so much, but also I was seeing someone and it was someone that had a past of cheating, but I was like, you know what? For me, they'll probably change, which never happens. So why put yourself through that? But I did. So long story short, got with him. We were talking for months. We talked about, I know it's going to be hard. We've both been with people here in Toronto. Let's be open and honest with each other. Let's make this work. And we were together. So I haven't been single for as long as I've been saying I've been single. I've kind of been faking it, but I would have still been faking it if I was still with him because unless I'm like fully in a relationship, like he asked me to be his girlfriend, I'm not telling the public that. I'm not even telling my parents that. He didn't come on the family vacation because we didn't get there. So long story short, everything was going great. It's been months. I was seeing someone for, I want to say 3 months, 4 months. It was like pretty quick since I've gotten here, maybe 4 months. And we were good. We were great. We were hanging out like every other day. My friends met him that lived here. My roommate met him that lived here. I sat his dog like literally every day. Supported him with all these things. And then I went away to Tuscany. And he didn't really go out a lot. He kind of like went to cottages with his family and things. So I didn't really have to worry about him being a fuckboy like he used to be. But I went to Tuscany, family vacation. Obviously, he knows I'm not doing anything. I'm with my family in a villa on a mountain. So there's really nothing to worry about on my end. And then I come back. He's supposed to pick me up. The whole vacation, he was great. Like, he's been telling me, oh my gosh, like, I'm so excited to see you. I miss you so much, yada, yada, yada. I think I went to Vegas too one time when we were talking. And it was like really early on when we were talking. And I think this is what happens with a lot of men is like, if you don't give men attention every single day, some men that are insecure at least, if you don't give them attention every single day and like fulfill their ego or build their ego up, they get sensitive and they get an urge to feel wanted. So they'll go find it elsewhere. When I went to Vegas, a time in my past when I was seeing this person, there was remarks made that he might have been doing shady things. We weren't together then, so I couldn't really say anything. I moved past that. Then going to Tuscany, he was supposed to pick me up from the airport. I land and I said, oh, just landed. Like, are you still picking me up? He said he got a drink with his buddy. This one buddy that he got a drink with is a loose freaking cannon. Never been in a relationship, I think, ever in his entire life. He's like 30 something. And he says, oh, I just went out for a drink. Okay, so you're not picking me up. So he didn't even tell me. I had to kind of get it out of him. Then I, got an Uber home with my brother and his girlfriend. We all live in Toronto. We get back home. He goes ghost mode. Doesn't answer my calls. Doesn't answer my text. I think he said one thing of like, so you're not coming over tonight, ? Which even if he wasn't picking me up, I assumed that like, you missed me, you wanted to see me. And this man like literally was a big ass baby the night before being like, I don't want to go out anymore. Going out is stupid. Like if you're not there with me, I don't even want to go out. And I'm like, amen to that. That is like music to my ears because this man is a very attractive man. So like, first of all, you can't trust it because every girl in Toronto that goes out, they're doing something shady. There's so many girls here, especially. I mean, there's so many girls in like other cities too, like New York that I've realized this. But in Toronto, there are so many girls that throw themselves at men that they know have relationships or in full-blown relationships with other people. So I've realized that very sadly within the last 7 months of living here. But knowing him being an attractive man, going out, knowing that he was out that night, obviously, hours go by. It's like 9 p.m. He still hasn't texted me, answered me, anything. I'm like, the only other time he's done this is when he was doing shady things. So I just cut cold turkey. I was like, okay, if you're going to do shady things, then we're done. And then he's been blowing up my phone and calling me for a week and I've never answered and I will never answer. So he doesn't know it yet, but we are done. I think he probably has a hunch. He probably thinks that I'll text him when I'm drunk this weekend, but I'll make sure that doesn't happen. And that's how you end it with a fuckboy. But I mean, honestly, karma to him because in a month or even like the next few weeks, it's going to be nice out and summer's coming. I've been eating clean. I'm about to put on my little clothes and I'm about to go out there and find a real man. And I think everyone else should do too. If you even have a worry about, your significant other, even if he didn't cheat on me, okay? Even if they didn't cheat on you and they're doing shady things or they're not answering you or they're not trying to see you right when you get home from like a week trip of not seeing you, I think that's enough reason to leave. Like you are not trying. Like if it was in reverse and I didn't see my significant other for a week time, I'd be there. I'd be wanting to see them. I'd be going out of my way, especially after quotations, not having a good night the night before. So I'd be wanting to see them, correct? If you're saying that's not correct, then you clearly don't like the person. So honestly, I think this summer is going to be evil. I think me and my two best friends that I've a few back home that are seeing people, but my two best friends that are living in this city right now are single as well. So you have summer from hell for all the men that we're about to get back at, because we are ready to pop out and just have fun and make stupid decisions. I was funny because I took a little rest on social media because my last situationship, I vented about him on social media, and like we ended because of that, because doesn't want to be in the public eye. So I tried not to say much about the situation, but now I just told you the whole story. So I guess you heard it here first. But I tend to say a lot on my social media as well. So the jokes will be made with all of that. But it's perfect timing for summer. And with that being said, I think anyone even thinking about ending a relationship should. And let's just end that segment with I'm single and I'm so happy to be single. And if you do not benefit my life, then I will not be even down to go on a date with you. I've been on the dating apps. Like for some reason, I was kicked off of Raya. Not for some reason, but I think I probably did something that I wasn't allowed to do and they never let me back on. Like I changed my number back to Canadian and they won't let me on still. So they really have it out for me. So I don't know what's going on there, but I heard there's a lot of AI and things happening. But Hinge is its own creature. Dating apps are its own creature. I don't really believe in it. I do it to like pass time and get attention because everyone likes attention. But I feel like no one's really real. And it's kind of funny because if you think about it, you have to like take time. It's kind of an ick because you have to take time. For a girl, it's fine because like you're, so invested in yourself. You're looking at what pictures do I want? What do I want to use as my first pitch to someone or like make them laugh, I think one of my questions are like, why would I, or like, what's one thing that you'd have to do for me to like fall for you? And it was like, make me laugh, which is like so stupid even saying out loud and explaining. But imagine a man having to pick his pictures, pick all 6 to 8, I don't even know how many it is, and picking like what quotes that they want to use or what answers to what questions. Like that just to me is not cute. Second of all, now Hinge totally ruined it for anyone using the voice app thing, or not the voice app, the voice note memo thingy that you can add to your Hinge. Like you can like answer questions like with your voice, which is like no one finds that attractive ever. I don't think I've asked one person. I've asked a lot of people because that really irked me, seeing that was a feature a while back. But I think I should come up with a dating app because a lot of things need to be rejigged to what is, maybe we should make like females in power, because now men don't do much to like come up to women and pursue them. So I think we should just make an app for girls, women to start the conversation. I guess that's like Bumble, but better. I'll think about it and then I'll get back to you. I yap a lot, eh? I could talk for hours to myself. People are like, oh, like, what do you talk about on your podcast? And of course, when you have a guest, it's different because like you talk about them and what they're doing and everything. But in the beginning, I was doing my solo episodes and I was talking, I was like, I was coming in with a mission. I was coming in with maybe like how to get over someone, how to do this, how to do that, which maybe we can dig into a few things. But I would come in with a topic, a brainstorm as to what I kind of wanted to talk about. Now I'm just sitting here and I'm like, you know what? The goal of this is to be 40 minutes. I have nothing planned. I just basically ghosted a man and I'm supposed to be grieving. I'm just drinking every day and now I'm here and I'm just living my life. So might as well talk about it. I also think people like story times. So maybe I should go back into my dating history and talk about things that have happened, because no longer, and I'm kind of happy I'm not on Raya, because a lot of athletes and people that are, famous, whatever, are on Raya. That's what it's known for, is like people that are verified or have done something that to be in a limelight are on that app. So essentially, my whole view on athletes and people in the limelight are so different than it was like 365 days ago, because I used to be obsessed with athletes. I used to obsess over them. Like, I was so in love and infatuated with people that played. I think my top three were probably basketball, football, and hockey. And the people that I wanted to talk to, I talked to. And the people that, or some of them, I don't do the ones in relationships. So don't worry if you're dating anyone in a relationship and you thought, oh, this looks like Sarah's type, which is dark hair, dark eyes, tall, bigger build than me at least, then you're safe, because I am not a homewrecker. But be careful for your man to ever go out in Toronto, because a lot of girls here are. Like, I heard a story from someone who she thought it was hilarious. Like, I was just having a conversation over, I think we were out for drinks with a few friends, and she was like a friend of a friend. And she went on and on about how she was seeing someone who was fully married, like fully, I don't know if the person had kids, but like fully married. And I was like trying so, like, it wasn't my friend, so it wasn't my place to be like, what the fuck? But I was trying so hard not to be like, what the literal fuck are you doing? Why are you hooking up with somebody else's husband or fiance or boyfriend or anything? I think it's crazy now how people just think it's hilarious to do stupid shit like that. But that's the way our world has come to. And if someone knows that someone's like an athlete or some millionaire or whatever, people will go for them. But I'm out of that. I feel like every girl, or I feel like everyone, honestly, especially girls, have a phase of like the athlete phase or whatever it is. But some people unfortunately never get out of it, and some people do. But it's like, if you want a life for yourself and you want to do well for yourself, you can't be with somebody else that's an athlete or has to travel and move all the time, because how are you going to build up your career if you're living the life of somebody else? If that makes sense. I don't really know if I explained that quite correctly, but in a sense, you can't be with someone that's out and about and had a name for themselves, because you will always be, while you're growing, that person's ex or that person's girlfriend or that person's wife. You won't be your own person, which is sad, which is why I kind of like, I want to make a name for myself. So I don't care if I would prefer if I find someone that doesn't even have social media. If they never saw what I posted, brilliant, incredible. Honestly, if they never, no, I would want them to listen to my podcasts, but totally okay with them never seeing anything to do with Instagram, TikTok, whatever. Like, I'd recommend it. Like, when people tell me on dates and things, which we'll be hearing a lot more date stories, because I need to answer some of these Hinge things, or else they'll probably kick me off, because I've just liked a bunch of people. It's so fun to, rate people, which is so bad, because like, I mean, I guess we do it every day on social media. You either follow or don't follow, or like or don't like. But on an app of just seeing men that, like, you've created the criteria. You're like, they need to be in this place. They need to be this height. They need to be this ethnicity. They need to be whatever, whatever, whatever. Your perfect person you've put, and you're like, okay, what do you got for me? What can you provide? And then you're like, yes, no, and you're creating your perfect person. That's why I don't really feel like it's real. But I guess I'll go on a date to be the test dummy for everyone else, because why the fuck not at this point? But I was like, oh, I'm going to get married to the last guy I was talking to. No. Now this is going to be a crazy summer. The next podcast you'll probably see of me solo, hopefully will be hungover, because hungover giggles are my favorite thing ever to do. I think it's hilarious, the shit that you come up with when you have like nothing in your head. It was like, I forget what it is. It's like an empty skull. Like when you're talking to your friends and you're trying to come up with an answer or an idea for something, and you're just like having a conversation, but nobody can think of anything because you're so hungover. You're like, what even is life? I don't even want to be here. That's hungover chats, and that's where you need to be. Especially, it's fun when like you're living with someone that you go out with, and like maybe you end the night with a different place as them, or maybe you're just like people go home at different times. And then talking about it and seeing a different perspective of that whole night is hilarious and diabolical. The way I go out is, normally, like now I'm trying to not go out unless there's an opportunity, there's things to do. But my roommate did say, let's try a new place tonight, just us, and then see where the night takes us. So I guess that's not doing that, but which also I think is a very good idea, because I do not need to keep going back to the same places and see the same people and do that whole rodeo. Clearly, I didn't find any luck in that. So we're going to adventure out. But my game plan this summer is do activities that don't necessarily need to be just going out. Yes, of course, go out. I'll probably go out 3 to 4 times a week still, especially in the summer because it's hot, it's nice, whatever. It doesn't have to be till 4 to 6 a.m. But like you can go out and have a few drinks and come home. I'm working on that. It's quite possible. But ideal summer day and night would be Pilates class, brunch, because you're not too sweaty after Pilates. So brunch, mimosas, bottomless mimosas if there's a good spot that has like deals, but like not taking it too far that like you're sloshed at like noon. So having like 2 bottles split amongst 2 girls or 3 girls, 4 girls, and then going home, changing, meeting up with friends at a park, sitting down, having a bite, then getting pre-ready again and going back out or going to a nice dinner. Because I think in those options, like the Pilates class, probably not. It's probably not a place that you're going to meet the love of your life, because not a lot of men that I'm into I've met at a Pilates class, but I mean, we'll see. But like if you're going to a park or you're going out for brunch or like you're going to a nice dinner spot, like that is where you can find people. Or if you're doing work during the day at a different cafe or something, like that is where I want to find my husband. If I don't want my husband to be on social media, you think he's going to be blackout at 2 a.m. at King Taps? No, I'm not going to find my man there. So I need to stop doing that because it pulls me in that direction every time. But that's fine. I think this title of this should be The Disaster of Sarah's Love Life, because that's what it's pretty much sounding like. But we're on to bigger and better things. And I said this, I think, in my first podcast. I'm making mistakes so that you can learn from me. I also am now a certified life coach, so I'm supposed to be more educated, but I'm better when I'm like teaching somebody else. Like when I'm looking at myself, I'm like, you are just a lost cannon. Don't know what you're going to be doing with your life. Still don't know what I'm going to be doing. Hopefully podcasting and social media is it for me, but we shall see. It's been 7 months and we've been doing it, but who knows? My mom and dad are probably like on the edge of their seat. Like when is this girl going to do a 9 to 5? But been there, done that. Don't want to do it anymore. I'm just trying to find a rich man and enjoy my life with him, but we haven't found that yet, which is totally fine. And if anyone judges me for saying that, like you would too. You would want to do that as well. We cannot say that we wouldn't, but I still am going to like work on myself. Even if I had a billionaire as a husband that was loyal as hell and great, perfect, we lived this perfect happily ever after, I'd still do things for myself. I'd still be doing podcasting. I'd still be doing social media. I'd probably start my own like brand or something, or alcohol thing, and like be doing all the advertisement for it. I'd still be doing shit, but I'd just be never looking at the bill ever. And that is pure happiness. Okay, since we've already basically declared that this is Sarah's shitty ass relationship life story time, we might as well throw in another, because this is one that I lead with when I tell people when they're like, oh, like what's the worst thing you've been through? Because a lot of times people do ask me that because it's like coming out of either they've seen a TikTok about me shitting on men, or like, why do you hate men so much? Things like that. So let's just spill the tea on this one. This man is a public figure, and this is actually so sad and so not even sad. It's just so pathetic for me, but like whatever, let's say it. Essentially, I was living in Toronto at the time. This is before I moved to New York. So this was maybe I was 22 and I was single, just got out of a bad relationship. I was going out for Canada Day and I was at Mademoiselle. And honestly, like if you're looking for like an athlete, at least back then, or like recently, I think, athletes have been going to Mademoiselle. So like maybe stop by there if you're looking. And I was sitting at like a booth where, you know, the middle of the booth where it like divides one table from the other. So it's like you're back to back with them. I was sitting in the booth where I was back to back with these guys. And I like looked at my friend who was sitting across the table from me and I'm like, oh my God, like they're kind of hot, no? And we were walking over and like, you know, when you can tell a group's looking at you and like, I just knew they were looking at me and my friends. So we kind of like were kikiing, giggling about the group behind us. And then I think we like quickly left because my ex came or I got in a fight with him or something happened. So I was like, let's just go somewhere else. Screw it. Don't want to be involved in that. And then this man behind me, I guess, was feeling me too. He asked one of the servers who I was, and I guess they knew who I was. So he messaged me on Instagram, which I didn't see until the next morning at like 7 a.m. And at that time, he was already leaving to go back to a different country, which is where he was from and played for. And we talked and FaceTimed like every single day for about 5 months before we actually like met in person. But this is when I was already moving back to New York. I had switched my whole life. I'm like, this is so exciting. I'm talking to this guy. I'm going to do my master's. Like the world is looking up for me. Like God is giving me his hand and saying, you are being set up for success. And I truly thought that was the way to the rest of my life, but totally not. So living in New York, my friend came to visit me. She loves this team that he played for and wanted me so bad to be with this guy, which obviously helps the fact. And he's really attractive and he was like one of the best players. So I was like, okay, perfect. This man already loves me. Like he is obsessed with me. He calls me every 5 seconds. Like he can't get enough. He was asking me to come live with him. Like maybe this is delusional, but like if a man to that caliber is telling you, I want you to be my wife, I want you to come live with me, would you give up, you know, your dreams of doing your master's and all of this and live with me? You're thinking that he's being pretty legit, you know, like maybe delusion, but maybe love bombing, or maybe he does this to 7 girls at a time, which he might have. But long story short, I went. He bought me a ticket, first class, got me a driver, everything. Fly there, get there, live with him for like a week or 2 weeks or something. And then I had to go back because school was starting and it was like in person. But it was a little weird. Like he had like 6 phones and his manager was there all the time. I did meet like parts of his family though, because it was his first game that he was playing. So we were up in like the family and wife box and met his manager, family, and everything before I even met him because it was game day that I got there. He wanted me to see his first game. So he was already at the arena or whatever. And I went with his family and people and then only met him after the game. It was fun. Like it was fine. But like it wasn't like love at first sight, but it was still like we were attracted to each other. And we had been talking for months. So the sexual tension was there. We hooked up, I think, the second day of meeting because like, I feel like it's fine after you've been talking for that long. It's kind of expected. But having a great time. We went out bowling. There was people taking pictures of us. Like even if we went downtown in his car, like people were waiting outside of his gate to take pictures of him and like see what he's doing and things like that. So it was a little bit intimidating, but it's also like kind of cool. Like I've never been in an environment where someone's been like that famous. Then I'm leaving like whatever, a couple weeks later to go back home to New York. And he's like, okay, like when can you come back? When can I see you next? We're planning another time I'm going to come out and see him. And I get on the flight. He texts me to tell him when I land. I think he called me. Then I go to sleep because it was like a totally different time zone there than from New York. And then I had school the next day. Texted him in the morning when I woke up. Never heard from him. Called him the evening when I got home before bed. Never heard from him. At that point, I knew I was ghosted. And ghosting is huge nowadays. Everyone does it. Then I go on social media and we didn't even follow each other, which is hilarious because I should have known. But he's seen with a new girl. So days later, after I left, a new girl's flying back out and staying with him. And she's like a total smoke show. Like she is a 10 out of 10 model. So at that point, I accepted the defeat. I was like, you don't even need to answer me. My work here is done. I am now on the same playing field as this supermodel. Like, thank you for choosing me. Honestly, like I still tell this story to this day because it makes me feel better because the person that was there after and the person that he's dating, I think now, are like VS models. Like they are hot. So it made me feel better. At the time, I was kind of like, oh shit, I'm never going to see him again. Like he told me that we were going to get married and things. So I was like a little bummed. But now I'm like, respect. Honestly, respectfully, I am so okay with just being another one. And then I can compare myself to those girls. I feel like I've won. But that maybe says something about my mental state. But at the same time, fuck it. I am so happy I did that, got to experience that. I got to explore a new country that I was never been to before. I got to meet cool people. He also rapped a lot, which was a bit odd. Like every single night we'd go down and like into his studio because he like rapped as well as played the sport that he played. Every single day. It was so funny. My friend's like, so what did you get up to today? I was like, well, we went to the studio in his basement again. I literally sit there and I think he thinks that girls think it's so hot that he raps. He is not a good rapper. And I hope he hears this because that is not your career. Like that is not the reason why you have millions and millions of followers. That is not it. Nobody wants to hear that, but I supported it. I was the girl sitting there being like, let's go. He was like, how was that one? That track, amazing. Loved it. Like, do you want a snack? What can I do for you? Because you are so hard at work. I know you practice tomorrow, but like, what do you need me to do to make this rap better? Like anything, I will be in service for you. But no, so hopefully he got rid of that. I think he like switched teams a few times. So hopefully the house with the studio is totally gone and not even existent anymore. And he gave up that as a career. Hopefully, honestly, the girl that he's with right now had the balls to tell him this is not cute. It's honestly an ick, but like he's kind of like hot enough and cool enough to have a hobby that's a bit questionable. So I think he gets a write-off for that, which most people probably wouldn't get a write-off for that, which is totally fine. But I got to meet a DJ and that's totally cool too. Okay. I say this with my chest. Men always come back. They always come back. Always. Every single one will come back, except for the people that maybe play in the pros and things because they have enough distractions. But a normal man will always come back. My issue is, or honestly, this is the biggest flex. This person should pat himself on the back. One guy that I was seeing when I first moved back to Toronto who... great guy. I think I talked shit about him on another podcast, but now I respect him. I think it was just, I was moody and now I've changed minds and like point of views. But this man, the same man that I was telling you about, we ended because I posted something on social media about what happened in the relationship, in the situationship. We stopped talking. He put his foot down being like, I do not want to be on social media, whatever. So do not talk about me, whatever. So I was like, you know what? That's kind of who I am. Honestly, don't think this is a good fit, but so nice seeing you, whatever, respect your perspective. We're just not aligned. This man has never spoken to me again. And it was so fun speaking to him and me. Like, we had a great banter relationship. I was so hungover one time. We went to go get coffees the next morning. I almost fainted in a coffee shop. Hilarious story. Me and my roommate were going to present a business offer to him because he owns a company. He was like loving that idea. 2 hot blondes doing, I can't give too much away because people will literally know who I'm talking about, but selling, we were going to be selling to people. And like, how could 2 hot blondes not go into a restaurant and get the deal done with the chef? Like, 2 blondes walk into a restaurant. Hey, like, we are selling this great yada, yada, yada. How will they say no to that? So like, clearly that was a good idea. Entrepreneurial. Great time. He loved my friends. He would cook me and my roommate dinners. I met his dad and mom. I went out with his sister, everything. And this man put his foot down on the no social media thing. And that was like months in. Like, he would get me flowers, this and that. And he has still to this day never talked to me again after that. And it's been at least 3-4 months. And the give up period is like 60 days. So they always come back after like a few months. And if they put their foot down, it's like a year. But honestly, now that the situationship has ended with the last guy, I think I'm going to give him a round of applause and invite him back to the home and the friend group and everything, because he proved himself. He is strong. He is different than the rest. And I definitely contradicted myself because I definitely shit on him at one of the beginning pods. Like, I know that when I was sitting on my couch with my roommate, I said some probably foul shit, but I'm taking it back and I'm putting my foot down and saying he was a great man. He's a good man, Savannah, and I will be probably messaging him. I also did a study for men, and I texted a bunch of my exes on Wednesday because I was hungover, and I was like, what, not even exes, just guys in my life that I've been texting before. And I was like, what is the thing called when you knock on the wall to look for when you're trying to hang things? And that was a test of like who has potential in the future, or who I'm even like willing to talk to. If you don't know what a stud is as a grown ass man, you are not to my caliber. I need a manly man. My dad knows what a stud is. My brother knows what a stud is. Everyone in my family that is a male knows what a stud is. You should know what a stud is if you're a man, even if you're a creative man. As a woman, you don't need to know. If you don't know what a stud is, ladies, it's totally fine. Get a man to help you. But if you ever want to know if a man's a manly man, ask him, what is the thing that you have to knock for in the wall when you're putting up a picture frame or something on the wall? If they don't know what it is, one guy came back with glory hole, which I thought was hilarious at the time. But like at the same time, like, ew, like why is that the first thing that came to your mind? But we took it with like a quick laugh. Better than not knowing at all and being like, what? I have no idea. They should know it's a stud. So questions like that are always, it's the little things in life. Like, what if you were at home and you needed to hang something and he didn't know that you had to do that whole, jiggy with the wall to see if you could hang something up. And within that, I got a guy to hang something up in my house for free this weekend. It's actually, I think he's coming over tomorrow. So that, if you want to talk to your exes again and you want to get into that, I suggest you pull a little question of the day out, maybe 5, 6, 7, 10 at most, and see what people say. And then you can cut down your roster if it's stacking up to too many people. All right, I know I just word vomited on probably every relationship I've ever had, but at this point in time, we're going to wrap up, because if I keep drinking and I keep talking, names are going to start coming out, and we don't need names to be out. I don't need any lawsuits. I already have one for another podcast. We don't need to bring that back into the mix, okay? We can keep it at this. So if you want to know any more story times, message me, talk to me, ask me questions, because I am here to give you advice, learn from my mistakes, give you a little laugh, chuckle at, the shitty things that have happened in my life. So At this point, maybe I'm drunk. I'm slurring my words already. So I will see you next Thursday. And I hope you guys like this podcast. I love you. Bye.